Okay, so I'm going to show you how to make this Christmas wreath. All I did was I made a cardboard circle, I put some green felt on top, and I had these pre-cut Christmas trees in various glittery patterns, so I just used them to make the actual wreath effect. These were only from Hobbycraft and they weren't very expensive at all to buy. It was actually in a Christmas kit. So you can see here, and you may have seen them before on a few of my blogs and things, I made some hammer bead little patterns. I made my Star Trek badge, my Batman symbol, a Pac-Man ghost with a Christmas hat, my gorgeous Harley Quinn, and the Harry Potter symbol. If you want to make these yourself, I have left the patterns on my Facebook page. You're also going to need a glue gun, and I would recommend having several sticks ready to go so that you can just top them straight up. It just makes this craft a whole lot quicker and easier. And we're all about that on this page, right? Okay, so before I actually want to commit to gluing anything down, first of all, I want to check that everything's stuck down properly. One or two will need reattaching, and just have a practice layout of where you want to actually put them, because, you know, you might change your mind, but at least you've got a rough idea before you commit to gluing anything down at all. You will see that I actually swapped this around a little bit in the end. Make sure you have them the right way. I nearly made that mistake. You don't have to make these patterns at all. I basically just went online and looked up perler pattern beads or hammer pattern beads or picture beads. It depends on what you call them. But there are so many free patterns out there, you could pretty much find any fandom at all. Or make them up yourself, it's entirely up to you. I just went ahead and picked my favourite ones, and of course there was a couple of Batman ones in there. So you want to wait a minute or two because the hot glue gun, certainly the one I have, it takes a little while to warm up, but that's okay. That gives you the prep time to make sure everything's where you want it and everything's all okay. Like I say, these bead patterns there are so many of them that I could make a Christmas wreath for every single occasion I could possibly want. I had to limit how many I made, of course, because, you know, I've got several other crafts going on as well. So once your glue gun is actually warm enough and you've secured all your little tree things down, you just want to put a blob generally in the middle or wherever you think your pattern is going to be stuck to the actual board. Give it a good decent sized blob because you want these things to be secure. So as you can see, mostly I just stuck to doing a bit of a zigzag pattern in the middle because the pattern around the edge of the wreath isn't flat. You want it to be able to really wedge in on all of the layers it comes into contact with. Once you've put the glue on and put it on, you want to give it a little bit of a press, but not too hard because you don't want to break your actual hammer bead designs. So with the Star Trek one, I decided to sort of blob it in the middle and angle it so that I didn't have to actually put a lot more glue on it to keep it in place. But be careful because the hot glue gun does get very, very hot very quick, so just be careful when you're pressing them down. I like to sort of give them a bit of a press to start with and then go back in later on when it's cooled down. You can see here I decided that I wanted a bit of a break up in the yellow and black, so I swapped which way round I had the Harley Quinn and Batman. Now with the Harley Quinn, because it's a bit bigger, I put some glue onto the trees first and a little bit onto the back of Harley Quinn to really make sure that she was secure with it being a bigger one. If once it's done you don't feel it's quite secure, as you can see at the bottom it just felt a little bit wobbly, just add a bit more glue and press it down. It's really simple. I wouldn't have done it otherwise. Again, straight into the middle, bit of a zigzag shape so it's not a direct line. It just sort of wedges into the little wreath pattern on the outside a lot better. Bit of pressure on initially, but again it is really hot when you first do it, so you don't want to over press on it because you might burn yourself. Once you're happy with your design, again you can add as many or as few fandom hammer bead pictures as you want. I just went with these ones because they are my favourite in general. So you put it aside and let that dry and cool a minute. To make my little hangy design, great words there, I just cut a little length of ribbon and put some hot glue at the very bottom. I keep the ribbon flat, and rather than using my hand for this bit I used a pair of scissors to sort of mesh the two bits of ribbon together because that really was quite hot. But by doing the edges flat, like back to back, it does create that little loop, as you can see, which is ideal for hanging. So give that a moment or two to cool down as well. Once you feel it's ready, work out roughly where you want your wreath to hang from, at which point on your design, and place it on the back while it's still a bit warm. I just found that this gave it an extra layer of glue to secure itself. You could probably leave it at that, but I decided to really secure this thing in, so I went ahead and just zigzagged across the top of the ribbon, going over the edge so that it made contact with the cardboard, and layer it up just so it's got an extra little coat of glue holding it down. You don't have to use your hot glue gun to do this, you could just use regular glue, but obviously it's going to take a lot longer to secure it, and it's not quite as secure as the hot glue gun in general. Set that aside and leave it all to cool properly, and it takes roughly about 5-10 minutes to make sure it's properly secure, and jobs are good and you have created yourself your very own fandom Christmas wreath. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and have a go. By all means, if you do, send me pictures on Facebook so I can see what different ones you have made, and I hope to see you again soon, guys. Bye!